Between school, your friends, and social media, answers are everywhere, but where can you find the truth? Welcome to the StudentCast. We're asking for a friend so you don't have to.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the StudentCast. My name is Ka'eo, and I'm here with our friend Brynn.
What's up, guys? We're back asking a question for a friend so you don't have to. And today we have a guest with us.
Yes.
Hey guys, my name is Nina, and I'm a senior at Buchanan.
Hi, Nina.
I'm even repping like a Buchanan hat. Yeah, it's a Go Bears, right? It's Go Bears.
It is
Yes,
Bears.
Go Bears.
He is repping Buchanan
Yes.
just for Nina.
Let's go.
So fun. But you're talking about how you're a senior, and so that means you're probably kind of in this college application season, right?
Yes. A lot of application prep and Common App stuff.
Oh, Common
So
App.
fun.
Everyone got
Yes.
triggered through listening.
So fun. Well, I mean, that is kind of what we wanted to talk about today because a lot of high school is this pressure of like, hey, like this is going to be something that makes your college app look good, or this will be something that you need to have on this application. And so we wanted to talk about like this question, are we actually worth more than our resume or things on our college application?
Yeah, because on a good day, I want to believe I am worth more than that. But I think often my worth is actually on that piece of paper because it's all things I've done.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. What do you think about that, Nina?
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's pressure there when it comes to like building a resume and like trying to get involved as much as you can just to build like how you look for colleges.
Totally. Well, Nina, when would you say is like the first time you remember experiencing that pressure of like, oh, I need to like do the most or do these certain things to set up this application process for like years down the road?
Yeah, I would say probably 8th grade going into freshman year or just like those first couple years like of high school, just like my school kind of talking about what classes to take and like just like emphasizing the fact that like it's really important to like build your schedule now and like get involved in clubs or like student council or whatnot. So
Yeah, they kind of just be like, hey, they're like, here's all things that you need to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, I am overwhelmed. But then you hear, if I don't do all those things, then like I'm not going to be good enough to get into the colleges I want to go to. Right? Yeah.
I definitely feel like the more like the kind of like rule of thumb I feel like in a school would be like if the more you do, like the more colleges are gonna like they're gonna like look at you more and you're gonna be like more attractive to like their like admissions office and they like will probably accept you more. So I feel like
That's hard. What do you do with that pressure? Like, how have you navigated that through your high school experience?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like a lot of times I have to like just take a step back and like just look at it from a different perspective and just like rethinking like what I'm prioritizing, whether that would be like my mental health or like what like my accomplishments say on like that piece of paper.
Yeah, I feel like all that pressure, I would just start spiraling. I wouldn't be okay. I think I would have a lot of hard days. And it would be because I think this decision is permanent. Like everything I'm about to do, it's like if I choose this college, I'm stuck with this college for the rest of my life. And that's going to affect my career. And it's going to affect how much I make. It's going to affect what house I buy. It's going to affect the rest of my life, literally. But we have to realize like it's probably not true, right, Nina? Like surely it's not.
Yeah. I definitely feel like I believe that like, oh, this college, the one that I'm going to choose, that's going to be like my permanent place but like that's not it at all. Like you can totally change like where you want to go. You have so many like options and decisions out there that like you can totally change if you really needed to and if it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
Well, and what would you say, Nina? Because sometimes in some conversations we're able to be like, well, I mean, you care about that way more than like other people are or whatever. But this is a unique season where probably a lot of the people you're around are also processing this same thing. So what would you say, like, do you feel like this is a big topic at school? Is it something that you and your friends talk about a lot? How does that look like for you?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a huge topic. I feel like it comes into conversation with almost like every senior I talk to, just like college and like applications and stuff. And so I definitely feel like it's really applicable, like the pressure that school and colleges have on us to like build our resume and like look the best and like just do all the things so we can like be the best and then go to the college that's, you know, prestigious or like whatever that's like higher level. So
Yeah. Well, and so what I'm hearing you say is like it's kind of all around you, like all the time. It's with your friends, it's at school. I remember in this season, like anytime I ran into any adult, it was like, what do you want your major to be? Or like, what school are you going to? Where are you applying? And I was like, I can't escape this. But how do you feel like you've been able to prioritize like taking a step back and like reorienting your heart with the Lord and the value that He defines that you have in this season?
Yeah. I definitely feel like a lot of times it's like hard. That like step back is really hard because I like my mind spirals and I just overthink because I do like struggle with like knowing, like not knowing what the future is and what God has for me. But I feel like definitely just meditating on like the word that He has given us and just that trusting that He's going to be with us, like no matter where we go or no matter what college we choose.
Yeah, like our relationship with the Lord is not necessarily like hinged upon the destination we're going, but He's walking alongside us the entire time. So that hope, that's good, Nina. Like I think if I like had a friend like you who would have like shared that encouragement to me when I was like processing college and like where to go and all that kind of stuff, I just thought like God's will was me going to that school versus not recognizing that like me being with God is God's will.
Yeah.
And so I just, that's a huge encouragement. I'm so glad that like that's like some of the things that like the Lord's kind of brought to you. That's good. Yeah, for our people out there, I hope you heard that.
Yeah. How do you just mentioned kind of like sharing that kind of stuff with your friends. You and your friends are in this same season. Do you ever have to like fight comparison with other people at school and what their process of this looks like or things like that?
Yeah, comparison when it comes to college is hard just because it's hard for me not to like look at everyone else around me and like compare how like better I might be doing or just worse. Like it goes both ways. But yeah, it's definitely hard to like not compare because like there's so many like variables and my friends are going in so many different directions that it's just hard to like just pinpoint like where like each one of us are going. So it's like, I don't know, that's kind of hard.
Yeah, that was hard for me. I remember I remember applying to Baylor. And in Oklahoma, I didn't even know where Baylor was, but I just know that it was such a prestigious school. And so I remember I applied and I didn't get in, but my friend did. And I was like, dang, like, is something wrong with me? Like, maybe I'm like dumb. I guess maybe I can only really apply to state schools. Like, I'm not good enough to apply outside of state. And it was hard. It was a tough season for me. And then, like, when I got to school, I almost, like, had to convince myself that this was the best college for me. Yeah. And it was better than Baylor, like, and that was tough for me. It was a rough experience.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think that idea starts with just the college application process. I mean, I remember, I think it was my freshman year. Do you guys still take the PSAT? It's like the whatever practice one.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, you would all get your results at the same time. We were freshmen, and everyone's like, what'd you get?
Oh, gosh.
Well, I got this. Or I got this. I'm better in the English section than you are. And then I'd be like, well, I'm better in the math section than you are. But I think that starts at a really like young age in high school. And so what would you say, like, how do you fight to be for your friends when you guys are in this process together?
Yeah. Just encouragement for each other and like allowing them to like pursue their goals like without trying to hold them back and like in that selfish way, but just like encouraging them and like just making sure that they're like the goals that they're pushing for, like you're like for them. That decision is like you're encouraging them through that and just like ultimately leading them to like back to God through like every decision that they make.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we're living a life to glorify God, right? Not necessarily glorify ourselves or other people. Like 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, like, whatever you do, eat or drink or any of those things, do all to the glory of God. And so I think if we keep that to the focus, then we're able to recognize that, like, I can celebrate you because we're just glorifying the Lord together, you know?
Well, and that's such a good encouragement for all of us. Like, you can glorify the Lord wherever you go. Like, you're not going to throw off God's will for your life because you're at this school compared to this school. And He can use you in whatever place you're in. And He's the same at Fresno State or Clovis Community or Cal Poly or TCU, like whatever school is.
Yeah. That's so Nina, we had a really cool question for you before we started recording, and I really want the people to hear it. And Brynn worded it really well, so I'm gonna try and say it. But it was essentially like, what would you tell like freshman, sophomore, junior Nina, like as they're getting ready to begin this process as far as like resumes and college apps, like what would you tell your younger self, knowing the things you know now? What encouragement would you have for younger Nina?
I would say, like, as overwhelming as it is, like starting out high school, and like even though like it feels like you have so much to do in like 4 years, just not jumping ahead to like senior year and like only focusing on like that year and when everything comes to like that year and then college. I would just really encourage just like live in the season that you're in right now, and just like focus on those classes and have a little fun with like your schedule and like enjoy that season.
Yeah, like you'll never be a high schooler again.
No.
Do you know? And there's some sweet friendships we made in high school.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and like I think, Nina, you've prioritized like community, and you've prioritized your relationship with the Lord above all else. And I think like that might not show up on a college resume, but I think that is the most important thing, you know? And so we are super encouraged by the way that you've like really pursued the Lord through this season, and encouraged your friends to do the same. And we're looking forward to seeing where you end up, but like just so encouraged by the fact that you know that your value is in who the Lord's designed you to be, and not in a paper or an online application. So we're proud of you.
Proud of you. And for our friends out there too, it's the same, right? You are definitely more. If you missed anything that we said, I hope you heard what Nina said. But the biggest thing is you are worth more than your resume, because God cares more about you than what you do.
Totally.
So with that being said, we're gonna
see you next
time.
time.
We'll see you next time. All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Well StudentCast. As always, don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about us. For more information about the Well Student Ministries, visit thewellcommunities.org/students.